Okay, example 5, we have a mass performing simple harmonic motion has a displacement given by the equation x equals to minus 10.0 cosine 1.757t, where x is in meters. Okay, part A, um, state the velocity time equation. Okay, from xt equation, how do you find the velocity? Actually, you have to differentiate. You have to differentiate this graph. Okay, velocity is dx dt. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to differentiate the x, and then we'll get differentiate cosine. We get minus sine. So minus minus become positive. So we have 10.0, 1.57 take out. Then we have 15.7 sine 1.57t. Okay, so when we are given an x in terms of time, the equation, we just do a dx dt, differentiate, we get velocity. Part B, they ask us to sketch two graphs, displacement time and velocity time. The equation is there. X is a negative cosine graph, whereas a v, velocity, is a positive sine graph. So we're going to sketch negative cosine graph for x and a positive sine graph for y. Okay, and this is how the graph will look like. Okay, this is for x, negative cosine, where this value here would be this value, minus 10 and 10. And for the velocity time graph is a sine graph, okay, where the value here, you look at the value just before the sign. Okay, 15.7 and minus 15.7. And the period, what's the period? The period, you have to work it out first. We are told that this is omega. This is actually omega. Whatever that's in front of the t is omega. Okay, we have to recognize that because it's a simple harmonic motion equation. So omega is 1.57. So we have to work out the period, then we can mark out the time axis. So the omega is 1.57. Period is given by 2 pi over omega. So 2 pi over omega is 4.00 seconds. So this is the period. So this is the minus cosine graph. This is one period. This is another minus cosine graph. This is the second period. Okay, likewise for the velocity time graph, this is a sine graph. This is one period for second. This is another sine graph, another period. Okay, part C, determine the velocity at t equals to 1.20 seconds. Okay, they want us to find the velocity. So not x, so we don't use this x equation. We shall use the velocity equation, which we have just found, which is this one. Velocity equals to 15.7 sine 1.57t. So we just have to sub in 1.20 inside here, and just be careful, this must be in the radian mode. Okay, when you press calculator, you must press it you must switch it to a radian mode. So when you do that, 15.7 sine omega t 1.20 in the radian mode, then you get 14.9 meter per second. Okay, so that's example